Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from the English Literature of Department of Islamic State University of Jakarta. Before we start, let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Muhammad Imam wahyudi, but you can call me Ali.
And my name is Imam Ma'arif. You can call me Arif.
And my name is Muhammad Rafi Pramonoputra, and you can call me Rafi.
So, we are currently facing the rainy season in Indonesia. But especially, we will talk about the floods in Jakarta.
It's been rainy season since November 2019, and it will continue until February 2020. During those times, we've been facing many rain with high intensity. Even on New Year's Eve, rain was pouring down really heavily, and because of that, floods occurred in Jakarta and the regions around it.
Before we talk even further, let's watch this video first.
Banjir mewarnai awal tahun di ibu kota seperti di Jalan Gading Raya Pulau Gadung, Jakarta Timur. Banjir mencapai 50 cm. Hujan deras yang mengguyur wilayah Jakarta sejak kemarin sore mengakibatkan banjir di ruas Jalan Gading Raya Pulau Gadung, Jakarta. Ketinggian air mencapai 50 cm dan membuat akses di depan SMP Negeri 232 lumpuh. Pengendara nekat melintasi banjir hingga mengakibatkan mesin kendaraan mati. Genangan air juga memasuki permukiman di pinggir jalan. Genangan air ini dipicu dari luapan Kali Persahabatan.
So we're gonna talk about this problem, starting with my friend.
Hello guys. As we know, Jakarta being the capital city in Indonesia is almost 75 years, from 1945 until right now 2020. After 5 years being the capital city in Indonesia, there are so many people is coming to the Jakarta for applying the job, which is the company or factory need a labor for doing the job things. You must know about the Ali Sadikin. Ali Sadikin is the governor at the 1970s. He has a policy to stop the urbanization from another region outside of Jakarta. But the next governor until right now is forgotten the policy and disappear as the time still goes on. So because of that, the Jakarta is being the number one for most crowded city in Indonesia. And because of that, the Jakarta is lack of urban open space as we call Indonesia is ruang terbuka hijau than the skyscraper building. So we still have many causes why Jakarta in the rainy season gets the consequences about the flooding. And right now, I want to explain about why Jakarta is still get the consequences. It comes from many factors, but here I want to talk about the government itself first. Why the government is always the main topic of conversation in the society when there is a problem comes to our city. Many people is talk with the same way. It's just because the government is the main thing for providing us with all kind of facilities, just like the public transportation, medical facilities, recreation areas, etc. Okay, we know about the rain intensity is very high and the rain almost occurs every day. But for this problem, government have to manage Jakarta so we didn't get the flood or maybe we can decrease the flood. Government of course have a plan and solution for this natural disaster. There are few steps to face up the flood. First is normalization about the drainage system like a river, sewer, and also reservoir. Then make an infiltration well. Even every buildings in Jakarta have to infiltration well. And also government have to preparing a land for urban open space. And for the last government is providing the excavator for helping normalization the river and sewer itself. And also create the flood task force for tackling and preventing the flood is come to the Jakarta by cleaning all the drainage system from garbages, etc. So here I want to criticize about why Jakarta still gets the flood. It's just because first Jakarta is have many skyscraper buildings than the urban open space. We need more trees for absorbing the raindrop of water in Jakarta. And also Jakarta is lack of infiltration well. Even the government is have an obligation to the society for making the infiltration well based on the regulation of Minister of State Environment number 12 on 2009. But the obligation is forgotten by the people. It's so sad. Even there are so many buildings in Jakarta didn't have the infiltration well or big trees for absorbing the water. And then the terrible of the drainage system in Jakarta. The river is so shallow because of the garbage or the mud and also the sewer. In Jakarta there are so much garbage and there is a government's plans about the normalization Ciliwung River itself. And there is a problem about that. The normalization about Ciliwung is stopped. It's just because the local government budget is deficit and will be continued next at 2020 with the 106 billion rupiah for that. Why the local government budget is the deficit, we do not know. So maybe the government should manage the local government budget itself for spending truly about the Jakarta needs. And for the worst effect is the color of the water flooding itself. You all know about that, but the we need about the treatment water, such as I explained before, the cleaning by cleaning the drainage system. But right now, the government is create the flood task force for tackling and preventing the flood problems and providing the excavator for helping their job. So that is my explanation about the government's efforts for preventing a flood in Jakarta. And we know about there is a many causes about that why the Jakarta is still get the consequences of getting a flood. And my friends Arif will talk more about the other causes flood in Jakarta, especially from the society itself. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thanks my friend Ali. Now I want to explain about the causes of flood from the society itself. Floods that occurred in the capital region was caused by several factors. The first factors in the capital region is the rubbish that out of place, such as trash in the gutter, and the second factor is the garbage in the river, and the last factor is the lack of water absorption in the region of the capital city also becomes the causes of the floods. These three problems are the highest causes of flooding in Jakarta. Okay, we move to the first causes of the floods in the capital region. The first cause of the floods is the garbage in the gutter. Why this cause can make the floods? And the answer is the garbage in the gutter cause the obstruction of water flow and that hits to the river. So when high rainfall occurred, floods will happen because the water flow that hits to the river is obstructed by a garbage, and that causes the water to overflow. And the question is, who throws their garbage into the gutter? And the answer is, who else if not the society itself? Okay, we turn to the second factors. This is the same as the first factors. It's just a different place. But this factor is also the causes of floods. The garbage in the river can cause the flood as well, because those garbage obstructed the river flow that heads to the sea, so that the river also overflow when rain with high intensity occurred. This problem is the same as the problem in the gutter. In both of those problems, garbage are the cause of water flow obstruction. And the question is, who throws their garbage into the river? And it also have a same answer, who else if not the society itself? And we move again to the last highest factors cause for the floods. And the last highest flood factor is the lack of water absorption in the capital region. And that is caused by the large number of structures such as tall building, or like Ali said before, that is the skyscraper building, and or like a resident houses and the other kinds of building will make the lack of water absorption, which should be able to reduce the risk of water flood in Jakarta. And is it happened by the society itself, who construct the buildings without thinking the risk of what they do? From these three factors, we know the society is don't pay enough attention to the environment around them. They still keep littering and didn't throw their garbage in the right place. I think that's all from me. Thanks for your attention, and next, Rafi will explain the solution of this problem to all of you.
Alright, thank you so much Ali and Imam for giving us a very thorough explanation and discussion about the main points of the flood problem in Jakarta, which is the government and the citizens. And now I am here to tell you guys about the solution for the flood problem in Jakarta that we have come up with. As my friend has explained earlier, the flood problem in Jakarta has been around for a very long time. And since then, the government, the Indonesian government, has been putting so much efforts in order to tackle this problem. So much efforts. And thanks to those efforts of them, recently, nowadays, there has been so much improvements when it comes to flood problems. However, even until now, the government still seems to be unable to completely solve the flood problem in Jakarta. As you can see from what happened just recently, on January the 1st, a lot of floods and massive ones too occurred in Jakarta and the regions around it. So the question is, how can the government completely stop flood from happening? Is it even possible? Who knows? But if it is, then what's the solution? What do you think is the solution for this problem? The solution that could end this problem once and for all? Well, Me and my friends, after putting some thoughts on it, we kinda come up with a solution. We came up with a solution, and that solution is the full cooperation of both citizens and the governments. Yes, the dream of realizing, I mean, sorry, pardon, to realize the dream of stopping flood from happening forever cannot be done with government's efforts alone, but the citizens' contribution and participation is also mandatory to achieving it. Because, as my friend Arif has explained, one of the biggest factors that caused flood is the litterings that is done by citizens of Jakarta themselves. Yes, he has explained that. And this is quite a challenge for the government because the government can really do anything about it. No, the government can put efforts on it, but they can change it uh, in a short time because the source of this problem is the citizens themselves. If the citizens still do not have any awareness and concern, then there will still be people who litters and break the rules that the rules regarding littering that the government has made. So it is an obligation for the citizens to realize this and start growing awareness and concern in their heart, because it is also a form of help in order to prevent flood from happening ever again. And then they can also remind each other about the importance of taking care of the environment. That's it. Nevertheless, the government's role is, of course, it's just as crucial. Because, listen, if the if rising the citizens, if rising the citizens' awareness and concern is might be a really hard task, but that is exactly why the government is needed. Yes, the government could be a huge help in raising the citizens' awareness and concern by they can do because they can create such big events like campaign or socialization. They can socialize the importance of not littering, the importance of taking care of the environment. So it can be a huge boost to the awareness and the concern that citizens have in their heart. And then the government can also try to make the rules regarding litterings even more stricter. That will be a very effective move because by making rules stricter, they can decrease the number of litterings done by citizens. Even they can even prevent citizen who doesn't have awareness and concern yet to litter because it is against the law. And then, of course, as my friend Ali has explained, the government also has a very important role, which is its duty to take care and give treatment to water control facility, such as water drainage and what a sewer system, and then of course also the rivers in Jakarta. The government has authority to take care of it. So it is best for the government to make sure that they keep improving and take good care of those facilities so that the awareness and concern that people have grown in their heart won't be a waste. It will not be in vain. So the conclusion of
this presentation is that we citizens also need to help the government in order to prevent flood from happening. When we are trying to stop flood from happening again, the key is the active participation of both the citizens and the government. And so instead of complaining about how the flood problem never ends, yes, instead of whining, we can start from ourselves first, because when we start from ourselves, it might be small, but it is actually a big help. So I think that was all what I want to say, and it seems like we have reached the end of the video, so let's go back.
Okay, guys, thank you for watching us.
We are sorry if we made a mistakes in this video.
And we also hope that you could get the message that we are trying to say, and we hope this video could help you to expand your knowledge.
So, thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.